Hello everybody, I am so excited about this craft. I wanted to make witches hats for a tree I'm going to put out on my porch. So I bought the little Christmas tree from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to spray paint it black. And then I'm going to, maybe I won't spray paint it black, maybe I'll paint it purple because my hats are black. So what I did was I came up with a way to make a witch's hat. I might just hang these from my porch instead of putting them on a tree, because if the tree is black and the hat's black, you're not even going to see it. So what I got was one of those, it was purple and black, and I took all of that off. It looks like her boot, the witch's boot, the purple and black. So I couldn't find any more. So I got 2 cones that came from the Dollar Tree. They come in a set of 2. So I got 2 of the cones, and I got these really cute party hats. They come 6 in the container. You're going to need glue. It doesn't have to be Mod Podge. It can be Elmer's glue. It can be craft glue. It could be Dollar Tree glue. The cheaper the better. You're going to need tissue paper. If you have black tissue paper, that's great. You won't have to spray paint anything. You're going to need a pan for the runoff of what you're doing. Scissors. And in the end, you're going to need your glue gun, and you're going to need paint. You can either spray paint your hats, or you could paint them with acrylic paint or any paint you'd like. So we're going to get started. I'm going to use this cone as my first hat I'm going to be making. So what you're going to do is, I'm not sure if you can see my water. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a bowl of water. I have a lot here because I'm going to make quite a few hats. So you want to fill it about 1 inch or 2 with water, and then you want to use 1/4 of the glue you're using and put it in a bowl. Then you're going to take your craft paper and you're going to crinkle it up. Now if you were well, I'll show you that when we do it. So what you're going to do is you put it in the bowl, bring it out some, move that aside, move this over, and you could start at the top or you could start at the bottom. And as you can see, it's very wet, so you're going to go around the cone with your craft paper that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. Or you could use paper bags. Not sure they have them anymore. My supermarket stopped using them a long time ago. Now if you see a spot that's bare, you're going to want to put more in that spot. So we're going to move this out of the way and put this in front of the camera and get some more of the paper. Do not forget to crinkle up your paper. You need to crinkle it up. Right now I am cutting the paper. That's the noise you hear. So you're going to crinkle it up. Make it all crinkly. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Then you're going to stick it in the water and glue. And try and get the whole entire thing wet. You can wring it out. Now this might tear, but it actually holds up pretty good. Now I'm going to want to make the point on her hat, So I'm going to start about the middle end. If you have too much paper, just put the paper aside. And press it firmly. And then I'm going to give this a little twist, because I am going to go up and make it a pointy hat. So as I go, you make it pointy. Now, for the bottom, you're just going to want to take and lay on the bottom to do a round for the brim of her hat. And I would push it down as you go to do the brim of her hat. I'm so excited about this project. And then you're going to need some more. I'm just going to tear it off. Crinkle it up. This would be neat to make a sorting hat too. Harry Potter sorting hat. It seems like an easy way to do it, which I'm pretty excited about. So I have some of the orange showing. So I'm going to go around the bottom. This is going to take about 4 hours in the sunlight to dry. Unless you have a heat gun or you want to use your blow dryer, it's going to take about 4 hours to dry. So I am ripping pieces off, and you're going to want to push it down so it's close to the bottom. So you're going to want to make it round, not square. So you push it down, and you can trim off, which I'm going to do, these pieces that would overhang underneath. So you want it rounded out. And you're going to go over here and do each corner. Now it is a little tough to keep it stuck on there if you tilt it sideways, but if you try to keep it flat, for the most part it should stay. So this is pretty much done. So I'm going to take this outside into the sun and let it dry. So you want to make sure that you push this down. Now see how there's an orange piece right here? I don't like that, so I'm going to take some of my craft paper and put it on there. Any place you see orange, here's orange, but I can paint that, but I'd rather have it covered now. You want to push it down to give her a brim of her hat. So anywhere you see orange and you don't want to see orange, you just take a little piece and you put it on. It's kind of like paper mache. So I'm going to put this outside. Okay, for this cone, we are going to be using tissue paper. So you make sure you wad it all up so that it has different marks in it. And you put it in your mixture of glue and water. Wring it out. Now, just so you know, the tissue paper is a lot more delicate than the craft paper. So it will tear. And I'm going to start at the bottom with the tissue paper. So you're going to go around the bottom for her brim of her hat. So I'm going to keep pushing down to make her a brim. I believe I'm going to do another roll of tissue paper on the bottom here. So you take your tissue paper, you take your mixture of glue and water, you soak it, wring it out a little bit, and I'm going to do the bottom again with this other piece of tissue paper. And I'm going to do the bottom again because we want her to have a brim, a nice brim, a round nice brim. So. Then you're going to take your next piece of craft paper, put it in your mixture, open it up. This will dry a lot faster than the craft paper, unless you're using the little birthday hats, because they're paper, so they would take a lot longer to dry because you're using paper. I want my hat pointy, so I'm going to get another piece of tissue paper. Now, because you can see the orange in the middle, that's okay, because you're going to paint it. Maybe I should have painted it prior to this, but I didn't. Then you're going to take your paper, which, be careful, this tissue paper rips. I think this is a fun craft. I'm so excited about it. So you're going to wrap this again around your cone. Try to push it onto the cone to give it some shape so that it looks like a witch's hat. So I'm kind of molding it and also trying to give her a little point for her hat. Gonna need more tissue paper for the bottom area. Crinkle it up. Your water and glue mixture. Put it in there. Squeeze it out a little bit. See where it's orange here? We want to cover that up. Be careful again with your tissue paper. This is a messy project, but I think it's a lot of fun. I have some drying in the sun right now. So you're going to go around your hat, and then you're going to try and mold it around your hat so that it looks like a hat. Now the bottom is not looking too hot, so we're going to have to go around the bottom again, I believe. So you wet it, and then you go around the bottom or wherever there's bare spots that you want to cover. crinkle up your paper, dip it in your mixture, and where it's not round, where you think it looks square, put some more paper and try to make it round looking. I'm going to take this out to dry outside with the other ones. Now I'm going to do the boot, but I'm going to do the boot with the craft paper, so you're going to want to take the tag off. And then you need to get the garland off. So you take the garland off. I would save it. You might need it for something else, to decorate a tree, or to just make whatever you want. I could not find the end. Here we go. Okay, so you just unwrap all of it and get it off. Now this part with the craft paper, you're gonna have to cut it up more than you did on the witch's hat. So, because of the boot is different. So most of her boot is uncovered. We have the other part of her boot. I've always wanted to buy the boots for the witch, and I just couldn't justify paying that money. And then when I saw these at the Dollar Tree, I was so excited. And I just kept thinking, how can I make a cool witch's hat and cool boots? And then I figured it out, which makes me very, very happy. So once you get all of the garland off, which I'm sure this is attached to her toe, there you go. So here's her boot. Okay? So you're going to get your craft paper and you're going to cut it. Squish it in a ball. My husband loves when I do this when he's watching TV. He was trying to watch the Eagles game last night when I was figuring out how to do this. He was so happy I was making noise. I'm lying. He was not happy. So you're going to take your paper and you're going to put it in the water with the glue. You're going to wring it out. Then you're going to take your paper and start wrapping it around her boot. Now, when you do it, tuck it in. Tuck it in up top so that it's secure. I'd like to do the heels like separate, so I'm trying to push it up some. Here's her little boot. And tuck it in, bring it down. And here's what her boot looks like so far. And you would like to, I'm going to pull this up some. And then I'm going to work on her heel. So I want a strip, not a whole bunch, to do her heel. So then you go around her little heel, because you want it to look like a shoe when you're done. And I have a piece right here that I need to cover. I'm going to take a piece and put it around her butt, and then you need to do her front part of her shoe. You want to keep pressing it so that it's going to take the form of her shoe also. You'd like it to look like her shoe. So then do the bottom. Don't forget, you're going to want to point for the front of her shoe. So you want to flatten out as much as you can of her little shoe, so it looks like a shoe when it dries. So take your little scraps and put them where you see blank spots, where there is nothing, and then mold her shoe. Oh, the tip of her shoe came apart. So put it around the tip of her shoe. So this is what it looks like wet. And then we're going to see what it looks like when it dries. So I'll be back as soon as they dry. Here is the one hat that is finished. It's on the cone. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my hot glue. And I'm going to hot glue on here to make sure that it's all secure. Okay? And then I'm going to spray paint it and show you what it looks like spray painted. So here is the finished product. This is still wet. This is the hat I did out of the tissue paper. As you can see, I need to add more paint to it, but it's got a little point at the top. I think I actually like the tissue paper one more because it has more detail. This is the cone that I did out of the craft paper. And it, of course, is still wet because I just painted it. Here is her boots, which I'm pretty excited about because they look really cool. So there's her boots. They're drying. And this is the cone with the tissue paper. And I really think I like the tissue paper better because if you see them next to each other, this one not so much with the crinkly. This one has a lot of crinkly. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it.